submitted for your approval. A fan-based show who encompasses the multi-twined multiverse of superheroes, villains, sci-fi, fantasy, horror, and action comedy. All whose genesis stems from the printed page of the comic book. At the logo streaming towards your head, you've just entered into comics, cons, and beyond. David James Kelly has been slated for the, wait for it, the untitled Daredevil reboot. Yay?
I was really hoping that they would wind up correlating a little bit more of our favorite streaming service in on that one, but we'll see.
Hopefully this isn't a mess up on Marvel's part. This was the last thing we thought we'd hear, but it's happening, so guess what? We'll have to deal with it.
Hold on by the edge of our seats.
Yes.
You lost in advance, just telling you right now.
Yeah, but fingers crossed. Also, adding to the script detail is going to be Michael Green, who was the brilliant writer who gave us such the gem, the Green Lantern.
It's a special place in my heart.
Yes.
Like not in your heart?
Say no more, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Hopefully he learned his lesson on what to do to avoid horrible scripting. And he was also a contributing scripter for the television series Heroes, as well as, what was that one? Smallville. That's right, he contributed to the scripting of Smallville. Now for those who were fans of Smallville, yay. But Green Lantern was not so much.
Yeah, those ones are a little bit tough. I mean, both Wolverine and Green Lantern, for both of those letters is going to be a tough act to follow, or hopefully not tough act, but tough way to recover from.
They have a lot of work to do. That generation of actors, there was like a 10-year period before you got to the next great generation of actors, and that was Robert De Niro, it was Al Pacino, it was Clint Eastwood, of course. I mean, a bunch of actors from that generation that were great actors. I mean, Clint Eastwood did a lot of the spaghetti westerns, but he rose above and he proved himself to be actually a really good actor.
And director. I would love
to. And director as well, for sure.
Do Fistful of Dollars.
Gran Torino.
I would dig that, something fierce.
Outlaw Josie Wales. By far the best. Come on. Outlaw Josie Wales.
That was pretty cool.
Well,
Good, Bad, the Ugly. Sorry, there's too many. Yeah. Now I'm smart. Now I'm thinking about that movie. Now I'm thinking about those movies.
But those actors, I mean, from the late 60s through 70s and 80s, those folks were phenomenal actors. They took more of the method acting approach, which a lot of people joke about, but those actors got into their roles, and we haven't seen that in quite some time, at least newer generation. The last of the somewhat new generation would be like Brad Pitt, would be
but a lot of them are moving on to script writing and all that stuff.
Well, yeah, because they're getting to that age. Robert Downey Jr.
Yep, I think he has his own film company with his wife.
Okay, and Leonardo DiCaprio, Johnny Depp. I mean, those guys right there. Matt Damon, even though a lot of people give him a hard time as well, you got to admit, the guy's a phenomenal actor. But they're getting to that age where they can only do a lot of the roles that they've been doing for that period of time. Yeah, exactly. They can't do it any longer, and they have to move on to behind the scenes. But that next generation that you're asking for, I don't know if they're there yet. I don't know if we have that quality of new generation actors and actresses.
Well, I think you definitely wind up passing the torch. I mean,
I think it's courage to invest in something like that. Like, you go with the same default option, the easy win. That's why I feel like, I'm sorry, like, what was the last time a film was, like, new? Like a completely new plot line. Last thing,
well, I think I kind of wanted to touch on that as well. Is there's a lot of, as far as comic books go, we see a lot of people like bringing these comic books to these films, but there have also been films that have created comic books or TV shows that have started.
That is true,
and I'm totally behind that. I would love to see,
continuation of a storyline,
or at least something something coincide so that if I get tired of, watching TV, or not necessarily tired of watching TV, but I want to go out and read more about it in elaboration, I can go do that. I don't have to just sit there and, okay, next week or next season.
Well, yeah, Dexter was a television show that went to comic book. True Blood, same thing. Started off as a TV series, went to comic book. What else? Most recently has gone from.
Well, I think Lucifer is another one that's kind of coinciding as well.
Yeah. Ooh, look at that! All right. So a lot of things now.
When it comes to
no, go please.
That, but the actors, I mean, when we all know that we want to wind up getting better at our jobs, we look up to a mentor, right? So I'd like to see a lot of the current actors kind of take a step down, as like completely away from films in general, but also at a point where they'd be able to, tutor some of these new people, because they have the skills, but they're kind of like, that's something they need to pass on as a torch. So they can continue that great screening and the great acting as well, and kind of let the next generation elaborate on it a little bit more, so we can continue with those people that we love. Because it is a shame when some of these actors pass away and we don't see that kind of film. I mean, heaven forbid if anything like Heath Ledger happens again or anything like that. And I'd love to see someone take a step out in that role, and I think there are a lot of people trying to do it, but just haven't quite got that.
And my apologies. I should have mentioned Heath Ledger. Phenomenal, well-versed, diverse actor who was taken, obviously he took his own life, unfortunately, but was taken from us way, way too soon. He was a juggernaut of talent, just waiting or just about to explode and show us what more he could offer. And Christian Bale, same thing. Christian Bale, child star, who's come a long way, and I feel is a phenomenal, diverse, and well-versed actor.
Yeah, he definitely takes his job quite seriously.
Yes, he does. Don't you fuck? No, I'm just kidding. No, you can't blame that. You can't blame him on that one, because if you've ever been on a movie set and you're taking, and especially time is money, and you're talking millions of dollars on budget, you're doing something and somebody does something they know was completely stupid and ruined that shot that took hours and hours to prepare. And you're not just talking script wise and acting wise, but you're talking special effects, camera angles, I mean, just the full setup. You know what? And when you're in the zone, in your character, someone messes up like that, you're going to go off. It was unfair, though, for that production assistant to air that footage. I think that was in horrible taste and never should have saw the light of day.
Absolutely. As far as that goes, from what I hear in general, Christian Bale takes his job quite seriously. I mean, it is a career for him. So when it comes to acting, when you kind of get into that role, like
Machinist. Right then.
And not only after
that is dedication for sure.
After Machinist, he did Batman.
Yeah, like directly one after the other.
Yeah.
He is
I don't know if that's even possible.
Unbelievable at the stuff that he can do and perform. So it's not too hard to believe that. I mean, I don't know under the circumstances, but if we were filming for 5 minutes and you get into a role, where you're dedicated and a boom mic comes down and hits you in the head.
You're going to be a bit pissed off.
Be a little bit upset.
I've done worse than that in traffic. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Well, no wonder you got as many tickets as you've got.
Because it's look, I understand if you have to get in front of me, but why do you hit on the brakes right after you get into my lane? If you're going to get ahead of me, just go faster. It's fine. I've got spikes in my car now, so we're even. It's a balanced system. We go road warrior with it. Let's not fight the future.
Oh, Mad Max.
I know, Mad Max.
We'll just call you Madam.
Let's get behind that.
You guys won't remember this, but the 1990s version of Hercules. That whole offering from way back. Yes, Kevin Sorbo's going to be there, Mr. Hercules himself. So, yes, the gray hairs are here for a reason, boys and girls.
That was with, who is it?
Lucy Laws did the whole Xena thing.
Xena, warrior princess.
Who was it? Who was
and she was actually...
It's someone really, really popular. I want to say it's...
Can't believe I forgot Ash's name. Sorry, he was the Robin Hood in the Kevin Sorbo series.
Who did Drive?
Oh my gosh.
We're bad humans.
We are. We're absolutely
Bruce
horrible.
Campbell. There we go.
Bruce Campbell. Of course, yes.
And it was all because a lot of those were shot by Sam Raimi, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was him and there's a whole old school crew. Well, old school.
That's what made it so
The old
enjoyable.
school.
We were speaking earlier of Tom Hardy.
Yes, absolutely.
Another guy who unfortunately got the how should I say, the misfortune of being cast as Bane. Okay, Christopher Nolan, again, we love you. We know that you had a hard time, again, with Heath Ledger, who passed, obviously died and kind of ruined everything, not only for his family, but for the continuation of the Batman series that you were directing, the trilogy. But really, did you have to name Tom Hardy's character Bane that had nothing to do with Bane, and all we could hear was Batman? We couldn't understand what the hell he was saying. Come on.
It was weird because like Talia made sense, but like Bane's character was an intelligent mafioso, or I should say crime boss.
Yeah.
I didn't see the connection. Like I saw the character was clever, but the mask thing was never relevant. He always just wore the luchador mask.
Yeah.
I didn't. Whatever.
Yeah, I know.
Well, obviously they want to make it a little bit reasonable. I mean, you can't.
I don't know how reasonable
Because,
that was.
well, I mean, originally, for those of you familiar with it, Bane was a kid who got thrown into prison because his dad died before he could serve his time.
Mm-hmm.
So that storyline generally wouldn't hold up. I don't.
Just
I,
do it
I
real
think
quick.
we're not giving. I think they did.
Unfortunately,
They did not give the fans and the audience enough credit. I mean, there's a lot of things that the audience will accept and actually crave.
I mean,
for their-
they could have definitely gone on an offspin of that for sure. As far as the work done, I mean, still the moment where Bane walks out onto the football field is. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
I love how there's about like a 8-minute transition. Everyone's like, wait a second. So we just ride and destroy? Like look to each other, kind of like, are we? I'll go first. Like they all prepare themselves. I love that moment because I would not put that past them. I wouldn't put past me. If I had like superpowers, in about 20 minutes I'd be trying to rob something. Wouldn't harm the child with a lollipop is mine.
Well,
Robbing.
guess who's not going to be getting superpowers for Christmas? It's the other publishers, by God. And speaking of which, IDW, local San Diego, pick up a lot of their stuff. They actually have some of the most licensing for pop culture, television shows, movies, and turned them into comics. If you followed anything over the past 20 years as far as television shows, movies, what have you, like Godzilla, Powerpuff Girls of all things, pick up IDW, look them up, they're awesome.
Definitely love it for my personal gain of Godzilla.
Oh
Always.
yeah, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as well. And before they got to another publisher, IDW was doing this. Oh yeah. Sorry about that, Adam. I'm sorry.
You failed me.
Sorry,
For the last time.
Wonder Woman. That's another little
Gem.
Another little gem. Yes. Gal Gadot, my favorite hot Israeli kick-ass model and actress, is reprising her role in her own standalone. And I cannot wait to see her in costume. Seen the publicity photos
Actual armor.
and the armor. Ooh, it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. And let's see here. There is a little tidbit, and the one thing that is cool with Wonder Woman and the characters from that era. Did you know that the characters from that era, from DC as well as Marvel, we're talking Captain America, of course, even Mariner, that's how it's pronounced, Submariner, Superman, as well as Miss Fury and Captain Marvel. All those characters really gained heightened popularity during the Second World War. They were the artists and writers' answer to what was the true evil at that time, and we all know who that was. That was Adolf Hitler and the stinking little Nazis. It was America's way of fighting back before we actually fought in the war. And those characters were awesome in building that incredible patriotism that generation, the greatest generation, used as fuel to fight the enemy and destroy it. And there was a lot of publications at that time that added to the war effort. It was literally part and parcel with the United States Armed Forces and the government as not really propaganda per se, but just bolstering the how should I say this? Bolstering the morale of our brave men that were fighting overseas.
Yeah.
Comic books serve a purpose.
They do. They actually do. They are integrated into Americana. They are part and parcel with the history of America as America's grown up over the past century. So, again, when you read comics or have never read comics, but you're watching the movies and you're like, well, where does this all come from? Go to a comic book shop, pick up a comic, and keep alive a slice of Americana. The printed page right here that not only the two publishers that you hear about all the time, but many, many other publishers keep alive with fantastic characters, fantastic storylines, goofy storylines, weird stuff. It's a great way to kind of lose yourself and escape the day-to-day monotony. We appreciate you tuning in. Like us. Send some comments down there. Subscribe. Hit that like button. Give us your thoughts. What's that? Is that the button? Yes, that exactly. Right there. That shiny, pretty little button.
I can't read good.
We'll work on that.
Well,
Pictures.
Well,
It's
that's
well.
right. Exactly. Thank you, Bob. Until next time, boys and girls, for Comics, Cons, and Beyond, I'm Lawrence,
I'm Bob.
Adam.
and we shall see you. No, we shall. I mean, the technology's there. I'm looking at you right now, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Really? That's disgusting.